78% of folks that bought their home in COVID actually were dissatisfied. So they're thinking about selling. So they might have bought it in 20, 21, 22, 23. How does that impact me for taxes? Welcome back to Really Mary. Super excited to have Craig Couture from Craig Couture CPA here in the studio. Craig, welcome.
Glad to be here. Thanks for having me, Mary.
You know, this is a topic that a lot of people ask me about, Craig, is how am I taxed if I sell my house? And more importantly, we told many of our watchers before that 78% of folks that bought their home in COVID actually were dissatisfied. So they're thinking about selling. So they might have bought it in 20, 21, 22, 23. How does that impact me for taxes?
Well, that's quite a stat, Mary. 78%. So I would say that there's a couple tests to review and be aware of.
Okay.
And it has to do with residency. So basically, it's going to boil down to either you're a resident or you're not a resident.
Okay.
So we're talking maybe primary residence. It's going to be the tests are ownership and residency.
Okay.
And when I say residency, I mean a 2-year resident period of time.
Okay.
So 5 years prior to preceding the date of your sale, if you've stayed in your home and it's been your residence for 2 of those 5 years, you qualify as a primary resident holder.
Okay.
That's the first test. The second test is ownership. So that's easily met with, the title, owned by the individual that's staying at the place, at the house. The IRS, and this exclusion has been around for a number of years, and I'm sure you're aware of it. Married individuals that sell their primary residence, if they hold it for that residence period, for that 2-year period, there is no gain. There's an exclusion. There's a $500,000 exclusion on the gain. So if you had a $500,000 gain on the sale of a home, it would be zero for tax purposes.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
So let me make sure I understand that. If I bought not 5 years ago for 5 years, but I bought, say, 2 years ago and I lived in it as a primary, does that still count?
Yeah, it does. 24. Okay. If you're in it for 24 months prior to the sale, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's only if I'm a primary.
Correct.
No tax on the first $500,000.
Correct.
Okay.
For married joints. For individuals, it's $250.
Okay.
Half of that.
If then, let me just take that one step further, because I've had this situation. What if one of the spouses dies?
Yeah, that's there's a spousal benefit for that, and it carries for 2 years after the sale. After the death. I'm sorry. So if you sell your home, you get the full 500 exclusion if you sell your primary within the 2 years of the date of death of the first spouse. Okay.
So that's fantastic. Now, what if it's my second home?
Then we can scratch everything I said about 2 years residency test and ownership. It's capital gain.
Okay, capital gain.
Capital gain or loss. Yep.
Short-term, long-term?
It depends on how long you hold it.
Okay.
So if you're holding the property 1 year or more, it's going to be long-term capital gain.
Okay.
If it's shorter than that, it's going to be short-term capital gain.
So this kind of opens up another avenue for me to think about. What happens if I'm homesteading, but I'm only spending 6 months and a day here?
Well, I would say that you're allowed to go to your vacation home or visit other places in the country. That wouldn't exclude you from treating your primary home as a principal domiciled residence. Okay. So if you're meeting the residency test for the county purposes for homestead, and you're calling this your domicile in your home, here, just using this as an example, Marco Island, and you go up and you go to your summer place in Michigan or Ohio or wherever, it would still, for federal tax purposes, be a full year residence here. They're not going to dice up months that you're leaving your place and then coming back.
Well, that's good to know.
Because you're meeting that test of ownership, and you're meeting the test of residency because you're claiming this is your primary. Yeah.
I love this. If you, by chance, were someone that bought in those COVID years and are not happy and are looking to trade up, trade down, get the heck out, whatever that looks like for you,
right?
You just heard it here as to what that might make sense on taxes. As always, Craig, they always want to check with their tax professional, correct?
Yes, I concur with that.
He concurs. So until next time, I'm Mary Bartos of the Bartos Group of Premier Plus, and we look forward to helping you save some taxes.